All right, so let's review Home Alone 3, which is not starring Macaulay Culkin, and it is the first Home Alone film that takes a detour from a lot of things the first two movies had. The first two movies had John Hughes writing them. Actually, this one might have John Hughes writing it too. Yes, and I think I said that in the last review for Home Alone 2. But John Hughes wrote Home Alone 3, but it is not directed by Chris Columbus like the first two. It does not star Macaulay Culkin or any of the other actors in the first two. This is a totally different iteration of a kid who is home alone and is uh, has people come in and he has to save the day and set traps to get these bad guys. And it's weird because this one was originally going to be a Macaulay Culkin movie. Another one where it was where at the time Macaulay Culkin stopped acting. Like this was in 1994. I think they were for sure going to make another Home Alone. This one came out in 97, but I think the idea came in 1994 where they were going to make another Home Alone movie. Um, and Macaulay Culkin didn't want to act anymore. They even tried to make it to where Harry and Marv would come back, but would be fighting Fuller, which is the brother of Kevin from the first and second movie, or the cousin of Kevin. But then Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern didn't want to come back, so then they just completely made this movie its own thing. They made it about different characters. This time, a kid named Alex, who is gosh, sorry, my camera is kind of going off a little bit. Um, is played by Alex D. Linz, who is also in Max Keeble's Big Move, which was a movie nobody would know about unless you grew up in the 2000s, late 90s. It was like a Disney movie that was like silly and zany, but he was in that as well. Alex Pruitt, the main character of this, is left home alone, except this time it's in the daytime, just while his mom's out on a business meeting. And then these four people come in that are part of a terrorist organization that have a computer chip that they left in a toy car that was given to an old lady next door, who accidentally switched packages while in the airport when they were all arrived. So it's a pretty basic. It's a pretty basic plot, like the first two Home Alone movies for the most part, because it's a kid just trying to set traps, stop these bad guys. Um, I thought it's interesting how they executed this one because there's things I don't like about it. I don't like the stupid sound effects they make whenever somebody gets hit. It's like a clunk noise, like a Looney Tunes type of sound, and it's really annoying. The second one started to do that, where like it had more goofier sound effects to it. The first movie is really hilarious, and it feels like Kevin McAllister really wants to murder these people in the first movie, and in this one, Alex really, I think, the same thing, is trying to murder these people because of all this cartoony stuff that doesn't kill them. Whenever like a weight flies onto their heads, or if a lawnmower flies into a guy's head, and the only difference is that he's just got holes in his hair, and he's not cut apart. like this is very cartoonish, like extremely cartoonish, and I thought that it kind of, God dang it, I'm sorry, camera really is just going off today, off the monitor, but yeah, so it's weird to watch this one with the fact that it's weird because the second one was so cartoonish, but this one is even more cartoonish, and it's trying to be like way more dumber, but it still was entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, I still enjoy this movie a lot. I think it's really entertaining, but it just, I don't know, like it really has some silliness in it that just didn't really work for me that well. Like I really thought it was too silly at times. Like I said, the first one really felt like he's doing these awful things to these people, and like Kevin is, and then the second one is even more silly. Like for example, whenever Marv is getting electrocuted, and then you see like a skeleton imprint instead of his face in the second one, which was funny but really goofy. And in this one, these characters, like I said, somebody gets a lawnmower on their head and they don't get chopped up, they just get their hair missing, or things like that, where like it's so ridiculous, or like somebody flies through a laundry chute, or not a laundry chute, a little dumbwaiter, and like flies 3 stories down and lives. Like, it's very silly like that. Um, I really think that it doesn't completely hit the mark like the first two did. Or honestly, if I'm being honest, the first one, I love the second one too, but the first one is obviously the best one. Um, this one has some dumb sound effects to it, some really outlandishly goofy stuff. Also, it's way more cutesy like than I thought it would be. Like, weirdly enough, because Home Alone is a franchise that is really trying that is always trying to be cutesy and like kiddish, but this has like Alex can't just be on his own. He's got a pet rat and he's got a parrot that sings and talks. Um, and some of those things are funny about it, but like it's just kind of ridiculous. And I still enjoy the movie. I still think it's fun. Just more the more I watch it as an adult, I think that it just doesn't hold up as well. Um, but it's still miles ahead of the sequels. Like after this, especially Home Alone 4, which I think is terrible, truly the worst one out of all of them. But I still think that this one is solid enough, like in terms of being goofy, dumb, fun. It's definitely along the tail end of Home Alone 2, where it was trying to be more cartoonish. And this one is definitely the most cartoonish out of those three, but I think that it really does a good job of being entertaining. Like, I do still think this is a fun movie. It's really fun. It's entertaining. Pretty much all I could say. Home Alone 3. And next up for the Home Alone movies is Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House, which is terrible. And I'm going to rewatch it because I know, and I already know it's really bad, but I'm going to rewatch it again just to talk about it here. And then Home Alone 5. So that is it for today, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.